Alright guys, this is Mr. Aragon. I'm going to go over the work plan with you guys as promised, as a means to kind of differentiate and reach more people. The first one that we're going to go over on your work plan is we're going to go over this, sex-linked crosses and notes. And then we're going to go over pedigree worksheet and notes, and then I won't go over the article that you have to read just because of time's sake. And then what I'll do is I may go over the pedigree project depending on if we have any time. If not, I'm going to upload a video at a later time. Alright, so let's get started guys. I'm going to flip the page here. Alright. Sweet. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So complete a Punnett square for the cross between a human female XX and a human male XY. What are the chances that their parents will have a girl? So let's go ahead and knock that out real quick, guys, okay? So female is XX, male is going to be XY. So let's go ahead and complete our Punnett square here. Alright, you'll have to excuse my drawing just because I am looking at the computer as I'm writing. So, oh, there we go. Way better. So if you guys notice this first top row, you have X and X, which is indicative of a female, right? And you have X and Y on this bottom column or row here. So that's going to be XY. So you have 2 to the 2 ratio, right? Or you also have 50% of the kids are going to be male. 50% are going to be female. Right? Oh, somebody's getting pulled over. All right. So question number 2. Cool. Question number 2. If the same parents have 4 boys, what is the possibility that their 5th child will be a girl? Well, it's still going to be 50% regardless, because if you flip a coin, it's going to be a 50% chance that it's going to be heads and a 50% chance that it's going to be tails for every single try, right? All right, let's move on. Hemophilia is recessive. Holy moly, let's go ahead and circle that, right? Recessive means that you're going to have 2 lowercase letters, right? I'm going to use RR for recessive, right? Disease, it's carried on the X chromosome, so therefore it's only carried on that X. It's not going to be carried on that Y, it's only going to be carried on the X. Write the genotype of a woman that does not have hemophilia. Well, there are 2 possibilities, right? You can either be big or XX, and you can either be big R, little r, or you can be XX, and you can be big R, right? The reason why it's she doesn't have it for both of these is because the little r is going to give you hemophilia. The big R is not. Therefore, the big R dominates over the little r in this genotype. And then in this one, you have 2 big R's, so therefore you're not going to have it. Write the genotype of a woman with hemophilia. Well, that one's kind of simple. We know that women are XX, and since she has it, she needs 2 little r's in order to have it, right? Write the genotype of a woman that is heterozygous. Remember, heterozygous means that there are different alleles. So a woman that is heterozygous, let's see, bam, bam, she's going to have a big R and a little r. Notice these 2 letters are different. That's why it's called heterozygous. Now, let's go over to question 6. Write the genotype of a woman who has hemophilia. Let's see. Oh, of a man who has hemophilia. Let's knock this out. So it's going to be little r. Now, notice there is nothing on this Y here. That's because hemophilia is only on the X chromosome. Now, write the genotype of a man who does not have hemophilia. We could do something like this, big R, right? A woman who is heterozygous, so I'm going to underline that, for hemophilia marries a normal male. Normal meaning that he does not have it. What are the possible phenotypes of their children? So let's go ahead and knock that out. So mom is heterozygous, big R, little r. Dad is a normal person, right? So he has a big R. Now, let's go ahead and knock this one out here. Bam. So we have X, X. I always do the X's first, just so that way I don't get confused. X, Y, X, Y. Now, in this one, it's going to be big R. And this one, it's going to be big R, little r. And this one is going to be big R. And this one is going to be little r. So the only one of their children that will have that disease is going to be the male, right? Because in this case, the female has a little r here, but she also has a big R to compensate. So these 2 are not going to have hemophilia. This male is not going to have hemophilia because he has that big R, right? So the percent is going to be 25%. Now, a woman, and then for this, if you wanted to do an extension question, it would be 0% of the females right, would have it. And then of these two boys, it would be 50% of the males. Excuse my handwriting. Hopefully you guys can read that. All right, number 9, a woman who is a carrier for hemophilia marries a man with hemophilia. Could any of their children have hemophilia? If so, would the child be male or female? Great question, Mr. Aragon. All right, a woman who is a carrier. Carrier means that they are heterozygous, so you're going to have a big R, little r. Marries a man with hemophilia, so the man is going to have that little r. If we do our Punnett square, remember I usually just do the x's first.
Hi, Olive.
All right, so you're going to have a big R, little r, little r, little r, big R, little r. So 50% of the kids are going to have it. 50% of the males are going to have it because of these two males. This one has it, that's 50%. Of these two females, this one has it, so that's 50%. So 50% of males are going to have it. 50% of females are going to have it. All right. Let's flip the page. Oh, this is going by quickly. Wow. Okay. A woman with hemophilia marries a man who does not have hemophilia. What are the possible phenotypes of their children? So a woman with hemophilia, big X, or I'm sorry, XX, little r, marries a man who does not have hemophilia. So, okay, bam, 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 bam. Big R, little r. Big R, little r. Right? So, all of their males will have hemophilia. None of their females will have hemophilia. If you guys look at these two boxes here, okay? Now, number 2, a woman without hemophilia marries a man with hemophilia, right? So a woman without it, they have a daughter with hemophilia. What is the genotype of the mother? So this is working backwards. So I'm going to teach you 2 ways to do this, and one of them is going to be correct, so bear with me on this one. So mom does not have hemophilia, so her possible genotype could be this. Big R, right? Just for fun. Marries a man with hemophilia, right? Bam, bam, bam. Now, fill in your boxes here. So this is going to be big R, little r, big R, little r. Now, the question says they have a daughter with hemophilia. Well, none of these daughters have hemophilia, so this genotype cannot be it, right? So in order to do that, let's try something else. Let's see if the mom is a carrier, right? Because if she's a carrier, she doesn't have the she doesn't have the disease, but she still has that allele inside of her. So let's see. Big X, big X, big X, big X, XY, XY, right? So if I do this, oh, I'm sorry. Male has the genotype. So if I do this, big R, little r, little r, little r, and this would be the correct genotype, right? So the correct genotype of the mother and the father would be big R, little r for that one, right? All right, color blindness is a sex-linked recessive trait in humans. So this is exactly, since it's sex-linked, it's only going to be found on the X, and it is recessive, so think exactly like hemophilia, okay? So for these, I still have some time, so let's, how much time? 8 minutes and 38 seconds. Let's do it. I've still got a couple more minutes. So write the genotype of a woman who is not colorblind. So possible genotype of a woman that is not colorblind would be X, and I'm going to use R's still. All right, big R. You could have big R, little r. You could also be XX, big R, big R. Sorry, I ran out of space here. Write the genotype of a woman who is colorblind. Well, if she is colorblind, it's recessive, so it's going to be little r, little r. Write the genotype of a woman who is a carrier, meaning heterozygous for colorblindness. Well, that is simply going to be XX, and she's going to have one big one and one little one, because that's what heterozygous means, right? Write the genotype of a woman who is colorblind, of a man who is colorblind, so X, Y, and he would have to have that recessive trait in order to be colorblind, right? Write the genotype of a man who is not colorblind. Okay, big R right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. Write the genotype of a, nope, same thing. A colorblind man marries a female who is a carrier for colorblindness. So a colorblind man, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave these two blank because I feel like I've done enough examples. And if you guys have any questions on these, please show me when I see you guys next to class, okay? I'm going to move on to the next one just for the sake of your guys' time, because I know some of you guys have already skipped ahead to the video. So we'll do that, okay? So on the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over pedigrees. I'm going to explain what a pedigree is, and then I'm going to go over this first page right here, okay? Perfect. So stay tuned for the next video. This one will be uploaded probably in like 10 minutes.